Here's a cool thought to kick off. In San Jacinto, a home invasion turned deadly after gunfire was exchanged inside a house. Authorities say the intruder was shot and killed.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Garrett. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, right here in Los Angeles. All right, let's set the stage for this one. First up, a San Jacinto homeowner shot and killed an intruder during a violent break-in in June 2026. San Jacinto is in Riverside County, just east of us. Deputies say the intruder, identified as Ismael Martinez, was armed when he forced his way into the home. The homeowner had been, briefly visiting a neighbor. When he went back, there was an exchange of gunfire inside. Martinez died at the scene, and investigators also found Martinez's girlfriend nearby with injuries from an earlier assault involving a knife. Here's what stands out. Detectives say there's no known connection between Martinez, his girlfriend, and that property, which is pretty unusual. So far, no arrests tied to the shooting itself. The sheriff's department calls it an ongoing investigation. That means they're still collecting evidence and interviewing witnesses to determine whether the homeowner's actions fit state self-defense laws. Quick definition: self-defense laws allow force, sometimes deadly force, if a person reasonably believes they are in immediate danger of being killed or seriously hurt.
Let's unpack this. It's frightening to picture a break-in escalating that fast. For folks listening in LA and across the Southland, home invasions are rare, but they're high risk when they do happen. Real talk. Understanding where that line is on self-defense matters, because in the moment people are reacting to perceived danger, not legal fine print. I feel for everyone involved, the homeowner who was just coming back from a neighbor's, and the girlfriend who was found injured. That's a lot of trauma in one night. Okay, let's move on. Next up, an Orange County man, Justin Derrick Jennings, age 41, was sentenced to 9 years in federal prison for firing a rifle at an Orange County Sheriff's Department helicopter back in 2024. Quick ID here. The Sheriff's Department is the county law enforcement agency handling policing for parts of OC. Investigators say Jennings had been celebrating his birthday and drank 2 quarts of Jack Daniels. That's half a gallon. He shot inside his home, his family fled, then he fired out a second-story window at the helicopter. Authorities later found multiple firearms and a large amount of ammunition in the house. The judge's sentence underscores how seriously the courts treat endangering public safety, especially when you target law enforcement aircraft. And yeah, the alcohol factor here is stark. Mixing firearms with extreme intoxication is a recipe for disaster. Intoxication means your judgment, balance, and reaction times are impaired. This case is a harsh reminder of that.
Yeah, that checks out. 2 quarts of whiskey is just, wow, not a lapse. That's a full-on breakdown in judgment. I'm down for this part of the conversation. If we're serious about preventing repeats, we've got to talk about alcohol abuse as a public safety issue. Simple stuff helps. Secure storage for firearms, friends stepping in when someone's hammered, and clear consequences, which we're seeing here. It's not about being preachy. It's about not putting families, neighbors, and air crews at risk. All right, let's roll on. Next up, courtroom developments in the Rebecca Grossman saga. Rebecca Grossman is a Los Angeles philanthropist who, in 2024, was convicted of second-degree murder for a 2020 DUI crash that killed 2 young brothers in Westlake Village. Quick definition: second-degree murder is an intentional, dangerous act done with a disregard for human life, but without premeditation. We're now in the punitive phase of a wrongful death civil trial. That's a separate case focused on financial penalties meant to punish and deter future misconduct. On the stand, her husband, Dr. Peter Grossman, a well-known plastic surgeon and co-founder of the Grossman Burn Foundation, was pressed on her drinking and speeding that night. Attorneys also pushed on money questions. Think asset concealment, which just means hiding wealth to avoid paying judgments. Big picture, the case keeps spotlighting the damage DUI does to families and communities and how civil courts can impose financial accountability in addition to criminal time.
This one really resonates with me. My heart stays with the victim's family. Losing 2 children like that is an unhealable wound. And I appreciate the quick explainer on the difference between criminal and civil court. Criminal court decides guilt and prison time, while civil court decides damages, money meant to compensate or punish. When we talk about deterrence, it's not abstract. It's about making sure choices behind the wheel have real consequences, so another family doesn't get that call. Switching gears just a little. Next up, license plate reader tech is stirring debate across Los Angeles. The company is Flock Safety. They make automated license plate readers, or ALPRs. These are cameras that capture plates and alert police to hot lists, like stolen cars or vehicles linked to warrants. Here's the twist. The Los Angeles Bureau of Street Lighting, the folks who normally install and maintain street lamps, has been central to getting these cameras up around the city. Privacy advocates are asking how the data is shared and with whom, including whether federal agencies get access. Flock says it follows California data sharing laws. Still, some cities elsewhere have ended their contracts, citing transparency worries. Transparency here just means clear rules on retention, who can query the data, and how long it's kept. Quick note on donations. In 2024 and 2025, Flock donated readers to help address issues like copper theft and wildfire recovery areas, which accelerated deployment. Garrett, why is the Bureau of Street Lighting in the driver's seat on a policing tool?
That's a solid question. My read is logistical. Street lighting crews already have the permits, poles, power, and bucket trucks, so installing camera hardware is basically an add-on to their existing infrastructure work. It's efficient, even if it feels, odd. But I share the privacy concern. Let's keep it chill but clear. If you expand surveillance, you need written guardrails, data retention limits, which means delete after a set time, audit logs, a simple record of who looked up what and when, and bright line bans on sharing with outside agencies unless it's court approved. Public safety and privacy don't have to be enemies, but the rules can't be vague. On to the next thing. Last up, disability rights advocates rallied at the state capitol against proposed cuts to California's In-Home Supportive Services Program, or IHSS. IHSS pays caregivers to help disabled and elderly residents with daily tasks at home, bathing, cooking, medications, so people can live independently instead of in institutions. The proposal from Governor Gavin Newsom includes about $370 million in reductions and shifts more cost to counties. Critics on both sides of the aisle are asking whether those cuts are necessary, given the state's overall economic heft. Here's where it gets really interesting. California is the world's 4th largest economy, but budgets still have ups and downs. Revenue can drop with the market or tax receipts. So you get proposals like this to balance the books. The worry from advocates is pretty concrete. If counties can't pick up the tab, services get trimmed, and people who rely on help at home could lose hours. That has real-life consequences. Missed medications, falls, or ending up in costlier hospital or nursing care.
Totally get where you're coming from. But why aim at IHSS in the first place when the ripple effects can be more expensive? If at-home care keeps people safer and out of emergency rooms, cutting it feels kind of penny-wise and pound-foolish. Saving a buck now, spending more later. I'm keeping it real here. Protecting the most vulnerable isn't just compassion, it's smart planning. If these talks move forward, I hope the numbers get rerun with those downstream costs front and center. Thanks for tuning in to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett in Los Angeles. Have a great day and come back tomorrow.
Stay curious, and we'll catch you next time.